Hello everyone, welcome to Options with Doug, streaming live daily on Bookmap Discord and the Bookmap YouTube channel at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Before I get started, I need to go through the disclosures. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and options involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Here's my contact information. The best way to get in touch with me is through Discord. My name on Discord is Doug P. Also in Bookmap Discord, there's an Options-Doug chat channel. That's a great place to post questions, comments, and content related to the topics of my presentation and the topics of the channel that I'll go through in just a moment. Note that Bookmap Discord is free and available to everyone. There are a wide variety of topics there, multiple asset classes, options, stocks, futures, crypto, and a variety of languages. A lot of very active traders all trying to help each other become better traders. It's a great community, and again, it's free and available to everyone. I'm also on X, formerly known as Twitter. My name there is @DougPless. The focus of my presentation today and the focus of the Options-Doug chat channel is options order flow, the impact of options markets on stocks and futures, and the influence of market maker hedging flow on price action. I have a two-step process for trading, and the first is planning, and I use positional analysis. I look at how traders and market makers are positioned in the options market and how those positions change from day to day to develop a thesis regarding the expected trading range and volatility for the day, as well as the directional bias. And the second step of my process is execution. I look at real-time order flow in Bookmap and real-time market maker hedging flow on Spotgamma Hero to confirm my thesis and for setups for entries and exits. And when I talk about setups today, I will be focusing on an underlying asset. And setups in that asset can be taken any number of ways. For example, the S&P 500 setups can be taken with ES futures, SPY shares, SPY options, SPX options, or even ES options. Also, generally, my focus is on intraday trading, but the setups that I could talk about today could be applied to swing trading as well, depending on your time frame. Questions and comments are welcome, and I will be watching both the Options-Doug chat channel in Discord as well as the chat and YouTube for your questions and comments. Please feel free to post, and I'll do my best to answer your questions. All right, here's my agenda for today, Tuesday, January 30th. First of all, I want to go over news items, economic data, events, and earnings for today as well as the rest of the week. Then I'll go through my positional analysis. Then I'll review some setups from earlier today, and then I'll take a look at the live market. And when I get to the live market, if anyone has any stocks they want me to take a look at, please let me know, and I'll be glad to do that. All right, let's get started with news items. So there were a couple of data releases this morning. So let's take a look at that first. So at 10 a.m., consumer confidence came out, and that was better than expected slightly and also better than the previous number. And then the JOLTS job openings data came out, and that was also greater than expected, greater than previous. And let's take a look at the market to see the reaction to the data. So that was at 10 a.m. This is the ES futures and Bookmap, S&P 500 futures. And here's the reaction at 10 a.m. Pretty sharply bearish. All right, so that was the data releases this morning. Then after the market closes today, AMD, Google, and Microsoft all report earnings. So it could, definitely be a big afternoon of earnings. All right, that's today. Then tomorrow, the big event of the day, the FOMC announcement and press conference. So the announcement is at 2 p.m. So that will be in the middle of my session tomorrow, and we'll switch to the live market and watch the live market at 2 p.m. And let's just take a look at, let's see if I brought it over. Take a quick look at the Fed Watch tool. All right, so no change from yesterday. So what this is showing, the current Fed funds rate, 525 to 550 basis points. It looks like there's about a 98% chance of no change, and then only about a 2% chance of a quarter point basis hike, cut, I'm sorry. So looking for no change, 98%. And that's the January meeting. So we'll just focus on the January meeting. All right, so that's the FOMC tomorrow. And then on Thursday, there's PMI data out at 10 a.m. And then after the market closes, Apple, Amazon, and Meta report earnings. And then Friday, the next big data release for the week, jobs report at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Then Michigan consumer sentiment at 10 a.m. And that will wrap up the week. So a big week for events, data releases, and earnings. All right, let's move on to positional analysis. I'm going to start with the S&P 500. This is the ES Futures and Bookmap. And before I take a closer look at this chart, I do want to step back and take a look at a larger time frame. And I'm going to look at the underlying index for the S&P 500, which is SPX. I'm going to start with a one-day chart. This is Thinkorswim showing a one-day chart for SPX. Current rally began last year, October 30th. Toward the end of the year, ran into resistance at 4,800. And then a kind of a choppy start to the month until the January 19th options expiration. SPX broke firmly above the 4,800 level and now has tested the 4,900 level and now trading higher. All right, so that is the SPX one-day chart. Uptrend still intact. Let's take a look now at a little bit shorter time frame. This is a 30-day, 1-hour chart. Here's the 4,800 level resistance. The break above that level on January 19th expiration. And resistance at the 4,900 level. And then yesterday, the break above it in the afternoon. There was a news release about the Treasury changed their borrowing plans. All right, so headline news, Treasury changing their borrowing plans, less debt, Treasury yields drop. And now SPX continues to trade above the 4,900 level. All right, let me point out the levels on this chart. I'm going to start with the expected moves. The dashed purple line showing the lower and upper weekly expected move. That dashed purple line may be difficult to see. It is right at the upper daily expected move. So that is the lower and upper weekly expected move. SPX so far trading within that range. Then the dashed blue lines are showing the lower and upper daily expected move. Both of these are based on the options market. The weekly expected move, I update that once a week over the weekend. That's based on the closing price on Friday. And then the lower and upper daily expected move, I update that every day. That's based on the closing price of the previous day. All right, so SPX is trading within both of those ranges. All right, the dark red lines are showing Spotgamma levels. These are proprietary Spotgamma levels. They're provided to Spotgamma subscribers, shown on a variety of trading platforms. They're basically showing where the gamma-weighted open interest is concentrated. I'm going to point out the key daily levels. First of all, here's the put wall. That's at 4,500. That's a strike with the largest net negative gamma that can be expected to act as support. That level has remained at 4,500 for a while. Then the next level up is the volatility trigger. That's at 48.65. That is Spotgamma's proprietary gamma volatility flip level. Below that level, market makers' position on the gamma curve is negative. In a negative gamma environment, market makers have to trade with price to hedge their delta exposure. And above that level, market makers' position on the gamma curve is positive. In a positive gamma environment, market makers have to trade against price to hedge their delta exposure, and that tends to subdue or decrease volatility. Note SPX is trading above that level in a positive gamma environment. In a negative gamma environment, I'm looking for wider trading ranges, more trending days, and above that level, I'm looking for a more narrow trading range days, mean reverting price action, and a more narrow range, more range days, mean reverting price action. All right, let me get to the next level, which is 5,000. And hello, Stephen. Welcome. Glad you're here. NC40G, I'll get to your question in just a moment. All right, so the next level up, the key daily levels, is the 5,000 level. That is the call wall. That's a strike with the largest net positive gamma that can be expected to act as resistance. Note that level did shift up from yesterday. Yesterday, the call wall was at 49.50, and the day before it was at 4,900. So on Friday at 4,900, yesterday, Monday at 4,950, and then today at 5,000. So that call wall has been moving up. That indicates to me that traders are looking for, expecting, and positioning themselves in the options market for higher prices. And that is bullish with that call wall moving up. That's also the absolute gamma strike. That's the strike with the largest net. That's the strike with the largest absolute positive and negative gamma. So the absolute gamma strike and the call wall both at 5,000. And NC40G, why wasn't that news known before it happened at 2 p.m. Central yesterday? I can't answer that. So it was just an announcement that that came from Treasury. If you go back and look at a chart, it looks like somebody might have known about it because the market started moving higher right around 2 p.m. Eastern time, so 1 p.m. Central. So about an hour before the market started to move higher, and then just accelerated after that announcement at 3 p.m. Eastern time. All right, so those are the levels, the key daily levels. The only shift higher was the call wall. up to 5,000 now. All right, so that's a 1 hour chart. And let's just take a look at one other chart for SPX. So NC40G, this may help to answer your question. This is 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and then I believe this is when the announcement came out at 3 p.m. So the market was already moving higher. This initial move higher up to the, well, that was a different level yesterday. So up above 4,900 yesterday. So that's when the breakout occurred, starting at 2 p.m. All right, so somebody might have known about that already. All right, so this is SPX for today in a 1 minute chart. The dark portion on the right is showing today. So a bit of consolidation after that big move higher yesterday, up and down around this 49.23 level. That's a combo 4 level that combines SPX and SPY gamma weighted open interest into one level here in terms of an SPX price. So a very narrow, choppy range day today for the S&P 500. All right, let's go to Bookmap now. So in Bookmap, I have my own cloud notes. So I can show SPX levels. There's that 49.23 level that I just mentioned. I'm also showing SPY levels on this chart. Here's the SPY 490 absolute gamma strike, and the SPY 491 large gamma 3 level that has acted as resistance. And then this is the ES 4950 level. So I have one column of notes, so I can show SPY levels, SPX levels, and also any levels of interest like the expected moves and the big round numbers for ES. All right, note for ES, there's a difference in price between ES and SPX. And today it's ranging somewhere between 25 and 26. And earlier today it was closer to 25. So that's what I'm using now. So for example, this 49.20 level, that's SPX 49.20. I'm showing at ES 49.25. So ES minus SPX is somewhere between 25 and 26. And I'm using 25. Note that I do post those index relationships that I'm using in Discord. For the last couple of days, I posted the preliminary numbers and the final numbers. I was a little bit late with the final numbers today, busy trading in the morning. All right, so again, very narrow range. And those are the levels in play for today. For SPY, the volatility trigger shifted higher, put wall shifted lower down to 480, so not significant, not really in play. And then the call wall and absolute gamma strike both shifted higher. So here's the absolute gamma strike for SPY, shifted higher, and then the call wall, just like SPX, also shifted higher up to 495. So according to that, according to Spotgamma, there's still room to run. SPX, the S&P 500, is not overbought until it reaches those call walls. All right, let me check for questions. All right, Caesar says, hello, Caesar. Welcome, glad you're here. Was yesterday's squeezed gamma based on Bookmap? There were so many orders added to the ask that showed no reaction and just kept getting bought all afternoon. I'll take a look at that in a few minutes. So we'll focus on today, and then if we have time at the end, we can focus on yesterday, what happened. I'll have to bring up a couple of older charts. So if I don't have time to do that during my session today, I will grab some charts and post them in Discord. All right, let's take a look at Nasdaq now. All right, here's Nasdaq NQ futures, trading in a fairly narrow range in the morning up until about noon, and then made a sharp drop lower. We'll take a closer look at that in a few minutes. So this is NQ futures and Bookmap. Before I take a closer look at this chart, I do want to take a look at the underlying index products for Nasdaq. First of all, here's QQQ. This is a one-day chart. Levels in play. This is this combo level. Price was chopping around that level until the 10 a.m. data release. Sharp drop lower. Price could not quite make it back up to that level. This is the 427 level that was in play earlier today. That's the 0 gamma level. Also the 426 level, acting as support twice, then some consolidation around that level, and then price broke lower. And price now trading down to the 425 level. That's a large gamma 3 level. And the range of importance of gamma 1 being the most important, 5 being the least important. All right, so those are the QQQ levels in play for today. Let's take a quick look at NDX, the other underlying index. And the reason I look at QQQ for Nasdaq, it's more important. It just has there's much more. It's much more liquid, much more options activity in QQQ than NDX. But we'll take a look at NDX just for completeness. And no levels in play for today. Just a kind of a steady downtrend in NDX. All right, let's go back to Bookmap here. So just like the ES, I have my own cloud notes. So I can show QQQ levels. There's the 427 level. Here's the 425 level that I just mentioned. And note that NQ is trading below its lower daily expected move. And that's right around 590. All right, we'll take a look at setups in a few minutes. And before I do that, I do want to take, all right, so let me just mention shifts in levels for Nasdaq. For NDX, slight shift lower in the volatility trigger and a pretty significant shift higher in the put wall to 17,625. And then for QQQ, the put wall actually shifted lower to 400. So a significant shift lower in the put wall to 400 for QQQ. And the absolute gamma strike shifted higher for QQQ. So kind of a mixed picture for the Nasdaq. All right, let's take a look at gamma notional to see how market makers were positioned on the gamma curve at the beginning of the day. The reason I do this gives me a sense of how market makers may react to changes of price, also a sense of the volatility and trading range for the day. So in a positive gamma environment, again, I'm looking for more of a range day, trading day, mean reverting price action instead of a trending market. So I'm looking at gamma notional. This is how market makers were positioned on the gamma curve at the beginning of the day for the S&P 500, Nasdaq, and Russell 2000. Note all these numbers are positive now. They all shifted higher. So gamma notional for SPX and SPY, both positive. So again, in a positive gamma environment, market makers are trading against price to hedge their delta exposure. And also QQQ shifted from negative yesterday to slightly positive today. So much less positive gamma notional for QQQ. Then also for the Russell 2000, both the RUT and IWM shifted from negative to positive today. All right, so gamma notional for the S&P 500, more positive, definitely looking for more of a range day in the S&P 500, and not quite as clear for the Nasdaq. All right, let's take a look at some setups now. I'm going to skip over the Vanna model. In a positive gamma environment, there's really nothing to see. All right, so everything that we've talked about so far, other than Bookmap, is based on static data, updated once a day. Spotgamma takes open interest data. They apply their algorithms to that data. They come up with the levels that we looked at, gamma notional, and that's what I use for my planning process. Now we're going to move to execution, looking at real-time data. So the first thing I want to take a look at is what options traders are doing today. I'm going to start with the S&P 500. This chart is the hero chart, hedging impact real-time options. This is part of Spotgamma. It's available to Spotgamma subscribers. What this chart is showing is price for SPX with a white line and the hero signal, hedging impact real-time options. That is showing in the purple line, that's the hero signal. That's showing options trades and market maker hedging activity for a combined signal for the SPX, SPY, XSP, and ES futures. So when traders buy and sell puts and calls in the SPX and SPY, for example, when traders buy and sell puts and calls, market makers take the opposite side of those trades, and they have to buy and sell futures, ES futures, to hedge their delta exposure. That's the most efficient way for them to hedge options trades in the S&P 500. All right, let's zoom in on this chart. So for example, when traders are taking negative delta positions, they're buying puts and or selling calls. That's shown by the falling hero line. Market makers are taking the opposite side of that. They have to sell futures to hedge their delta exposure. And then when the hero line is rising, this indicates traders are taking positive delta positions. They're buying calls and or selling puts. And market makers take the opposite side of that, and they have to buy futures to hedge their delta exposure. All right, let's take a look at some setups. All right, I'm going to zoom in on this chart. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm not sure what that is. I don't know what that is, sorry. It may be from earlier trades. It'll stop in just a moment, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. All right, so what I'm going to focus on is from 10 to 11. So this, and I was waiting until the data release at 10 a.m. before I did anything. And the way this resolved was definitely bearish from 10 to 11. Hero signal falling. And during that time, I was looking for shorts. So kind of a choppy morning, waiting for the data release. And then at the data release, ES dropped sharply lower, pulled back, good short entry right around 10.10. All right, let's go take a look at Bookmap. Let's go back to ES. Let's zoom in here. All right, so from the open, ES was bullish. The volume dots of Bookmap show market buy minus sell. Magenta dots indicate more sellers than buyers. Green volume dots indicate more buyers than sellers. Buyers come in right at this 49.20 level. Then at the data release, aggressive sellers come in, and there was sell stop orders fueling the move lower. Let me zoom out just a little bit here, or zoom. Data release, sharp move lower, aggressive sellers, sell stop orders fuel the move lower. That's shown by the falling yellow line, sell stop orders. And price finds support at the 49.20 level. And that was where the pullback for the long at the open. Note that in the subchart here, all these lines falling, cumulative volume delta shown with the pink line, and the falling blue line is showing light blue line showing sell iceberg orders, also shown by the on-chart indicator. Large traders using iceberg orders to sell the move higher, and then sell stop orders fueling the move lower. All right, so not a lot of range there from right around, let's say 49, 50, 51, down to 45. So not a lot of range. Typical, again, of a positive gamma environment. Not a lot of movement in the S&P 500, but both the hedging flow shown with Hero and the order flow shown in Bookmap are pretty clearly bearish during that time. Hold on. Maybe that is. Sorry about that. Not sure what else I can do about that. Sorry. Those of you on YouTube who are sticking with me, thank you very much. I could see the number watching now dropped pretty quickly. Sorry about that. All right, so we're still looking at ES here. Note that the subchart, to me, this is still looking pretty bearish. CVD moving lower, sell stop orders, and sell iceberg orders, all negative for the day, and pretty substantially negative. All right, let's move on to Nasdaq. All right, Nasdaq also looking bearish for the day. CVD moving lower all day. Looks like some large traders have come in with iceberg orders right around 12:30, maybe slowing down the move lower. All right, let's zoom in. I'm going to focus on that same 10 to 11 time period. So I thought there were some long opportunities that eventually resolve lower. Let's take a look at Hero. Let's see what options traders are doing. And in the case of Nasdaq, I've been looking at this MAG 7 signal. Let me zoom back out. What this chart is showing is a combined signal for options trades, market maker hedging activity for the stocks known as the Magnificent Seven: Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, Nvidia, and Tesla. So when traders buy calls in a stock, for example, market makers sell the calls and they have to buy stock to hedge their delta exposure. And just the opposite with puts. When traders buy puts, market makers sell the puts and they have to sell stock to hedge their delta exposure. All right, so this is a combined signal. These stocks make up a very large component of the Nasdaq and the SP 500. I'm going to zoom in on this morning. So this is, of course we know what happens later, but just looking at this in the morning, the Hero signal was trending higher starting about 9:45. Dipped down briefly after the data and then started moving higher. And to me, this was an indication to look for long entries. And that lasted for maybe 30-40 minutes. All right, let's go to Bookmap. All right, so during that 40 minutes from 10 to 10:45, looking for longs. All right, let's zoom out now. And we'll take a look at the short setup. So note looking in the subchart here, CVD rising and large traders selling with iceberg orders. This is not huge size, but the light blue line does fall. And let's go back to Hero. And the hero signal shifts sharply lower right around 1040. Setting up a short. Let's go back to Bookmap. Whoops. Setting up a short. Good entry point right at 427. Trend break there right at 427. So really up and down, a little bit more range than the S&P 500, a little bit more, I thought a little bit more tradable, easier to trade. But overall trending lower. Good. Oops. Oops. So if you waited patiently, watch this most of the day or most of the morning, just waited patiently, good short entries at these trend breaks as Nasdaq was making lower highs. All right, let's go back and take a look at Hero. Zoom out on the day. So here's that first trend break, 1040, then again just afternoon as the hero signal for the Mag 7 reached that, looks like around 400 million positive, and then sharp reversal lower. Let's take a quick look and see what traders have been doing, separate out puts and calls, and that is really driven by calls. That's shown by the orange line, traders buying calls, then they start selling calls, sorry about that. That's why I hesitate to separate out puts and calls, but you can see the call buyers, the swings in the calls, really driving price. Both these big swings driven by call buyers and call sellers. All right, let's take a look at some stocks, and then we'll get to the live market. So the first stock I want to take a look at is Apple. Zoom in on this just a little bit. Note this floor alert here, indicating significant options activity just a couple of minutes before this sharp drop lower. So if you notice that alert, got into Apple pretty quickly. Here's where that alert came in, and price dropped sharply lower just a couple minutes after that. All right, that's Apple. All right, so again, remember, AMD, Google, Microsoft report earnings, so let's take a look at those stocks. Here's AMD for the day. Let's take a look at Hero, see what options traders have been doing. zoom in. A couple of flow alerts. Traders take negative delta positions. That starts right around 9:40. Let's go back to Bookmap. $9.40. Then the next move lower starts around 10:35. Let's go back to Hero. Now in that case, that was not really driven by options traders so much. All right, so the initial setup was short. Zooming out, AMD retests that level, chops around, and then with the rest of Nasdaq starts moving lower just after noon, after 12 p.m. All right, the next, Google. Now trending lower, traders taking negative delta positions, a couple of short entries noted by these flow alerts. So overall, again for the day, traders taking negative delta positions on Google. Let's go take a look at Bookmap. So AMD definitely moving lower for the day. Google also moving lower as traders take negative delta positions. The next is Microsoft. Also bearish on the day. Let's see what options traders are doing. So the notional value for Microsoft also negative for the day. But more of a choppy signal for Hero here. Up and down until the sharp drop lower right around 12. All right, IcoJed asked, how do you update or save the new levels every morning on TOS? Spotgamma provides a think script that you have to update manually. So let me show you. Let's go to Thinkorswim. So what I do, I copy the text of the new think script that's updated every day. Take that in the morning. I'll go to my studies, search for Spotgamma. I open that, I edit that, and delete everything that's in there and then paste the new script. It takes about a minute, but that is that provides the Spotgamma think script every day for all the instruments that I look at. So we've looked at SPX, QQQ, NDX, and all of those instruments are included in that one script. And that is available to Spotgamma subscribers. And you really don't have to save it. You just here, let me show you. Click on edit. So I have copied the new script. So I just select all of this, I delete it, and then I paste in the new script, click apply, and that will update the script. So that's all I have to do. So again, that takes about a minute. All right, let's take a look at one other stock, see if the dip buyers are still in there in Tesla. They were earlier today. Now Tesla chopping around. Let's go to Bookmap. Take a look at Tesla. And so far, Tesla negative for the day. All right, so the S&P 500 still chopping in a range. Let's see what options traders are doing in the S&P 500. So gamma notional, this notional value of options trades still mildly positive for the day. So net for the day, traders are taking positive delta positions. This is choppy up and down quite a bit. Mean reverting price action at its best in a positive gamma pre-FOMC day. Let's just see what we can take a look at. Next expiry, that's shown by the green line there, or the teal line. So that's showing options trades that for options that expire today. Note the very strong correlation between the green line and the purple line. The purple line is showing all trades, all expirations. That's today, tomorrow, Friday, next week, next month, all options trades. And this the teal line showing options that just expire today. So this is showing that options that expire today are making up the bulk of options that expire, making up the bulk of the options trades today. So 0 DTE options that expire today making up the bulk of trade today. All right, so that is just adds some additional clarity. But overall, mean reverting options trades leading to mean reverting price action in the S&P 500. Caesar asks, can you get more info from the flow alert to see if it's bullish or bearish? I started using Hero well before the flow alerts came out. The flow alerts just add some additional confirmation. Typically, get your attention. They can be a confirmation for a move, or they can be indicate a mean reverting move. So you just have to watch Hero, watch order flow. All it really does is signal significant options activity. To get your attention. So in this case, get your attention for a move lower, attention for a move higher, attention for a move lower. So somewhat mean reverting there. That one's a little bit early. Let's see, I did not make any notes of alerts in my notes here. Let's just scan through real quick. Oh yeah, I did. I forgot all about Apple. So in this case, flow alert, very timely flow alert for Apple. So when you see that, look at Hero, look at Bookmap, and decide how you want to trade from that. So in this case, that was definitely bearish. Nothing. There were a couple of flow alerts there. No significance in AMD. Better flow alerts here in Google at the highs. That nothing of significance. Good flow alerts here in Netflix. So it all depends. You know, definitely not a red light or green light. You just have to use your judgment of what you see in Hero and see in Bookmap. See what the Mag 7 are doing. Still making lower highs. Let's go to Bookmap. ES currently moving up. Go back to Hero. So pretty much in line with the trend of the Hero signal. Options traders taking positive delta positions, buying calls and or selling puts. Yes, moving higher. So Hero's been a pretty reliable confirmation for trades today for the S&P 500. We haven't looked at this yet. And the signal for the Nasdaq, the combined signal, NDX and QQQ working pretty well today. Let's take a look at Mag 7. I like Nasdaq. All right, let's go back to Bookmap. Mean reverting price action for the S&P 500. And definitely more bearish for Nasdaq. All right, Caesar, let me see if I can answer your question. Let's go back to Hero first. Go to the S&P 500, and let's take a look at yesterday. So what I can do is go back to yesterday. So Hero was quite bullish all day. This number 7.5 billion. That's high. I've seen it as high as the highest day is right around 12 billion positive. So that's delta notional 7.5 for yesterday, very high, trending higher from about 10 a.m. on up. There's that move higher, initial move higher at 2 p.m. And then the follow through actually begins before 3 p.m. Let's separate out puts and calls. So traders yesterday were buying calls, that's shown by the rising orange line, and they were selling puts. Notional value positive for both. So when the orange line and the blue line are moving in the same direction, This is a very powerful directional signal according to Spotgamma. So again, traders buying calls and selling puts. So in this case, that's a very strong bullish directional indicator. And it's hard for when both lines moving in the same direction, it's hard for the instrument to move in the opposite direction. All right, so that's hero for yesterday. Let me take a look at one other thing. So I'm going to go back to a screenshot from yesterday. Here we go. Try to zoom in on this a little bit. All right, so this is yesterday. I've talked about this 487 level. That was the absolute gamma strike for SPY yesterday, acting as support. And note, during the day, CVD constantly rising. That's the dark blue line. Also, buy stop orders fueling the move higher. And note the jump in the yellow line. Buy stop orders fueled that move higher after the Treasury announcement. So we know that traders are buying calls and selling puts. Market makers take the opposite side of that, buying futures to hedge their delta exposure. Aggressive buyers, shown by cumulative volume delta, and then also buy stop orders fueling the move higher. Buy stop orders, shown by the small green dots, fueling that final push higher. All right, so Caesar, I hope that answers your question. Caesar says, does it get clearer than that? Yeah, so that was yesterday, then consolidation today after that huge move yesterday. All right, let's go back to today. Actually, let me change this one first. Back today. So huge move yesterday, then consolidation today, and then in the afternoon. Now, again, traders taking positive delta positions. Delta notional moving up to 1.87 billion positive. Take a quick look at puts and calls. So starting right around just after 2 p.m., traders are buying calls and selling puts. Sorry, I knew that was going to happen, trying to do that fast. Let's go back to total. So we know right now that traders are buying calls and or selling puts. Blue line, orange line moving in the same direction and price moving higher. Go back one more time, go to ES. All right, so options trades, big driver of price action today in ES. All right, my time is up. I want to thank everyone for watching. Thank you very much for your questions and comments. Sorry about those dings. Not quite sure what caused that. Hopefully that won't happen again. I want to thank you for your questions and comments. And remember, tomorrow, FOMC, ISM data at 10 a.m. And then, no, that's on Thursday. So tomorrow is just FOMC, 2 p.m. We'll talk about it before, and then at 2 p.m. we'll shift over and watch the live market and watch the reaction to the announcement. All right, thanks again, everyone. Have a great afternoon, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.